ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. For those of you who are not familiar with it, basic human rights mean that these are rights that are given to you as human beings. They are rights as human beings. As a human being, you have the right to a body. As a human being, you have a right for all of the organs and all of the transactions and transitions that take place within that body to take place in order that you might be able to walk around, to receive from the outside oxygen and any other chemicals or energies that you need from the outside to give you life and to get you moving about. Those are basic rights. On top of that, there are other rights that you have to have met in order to survive in this. And that means basically that you have food. You need food. Everybody on earth needs food. Every human being needs food. All living things need food. And it has been provided for. And all it takes to get the food are farmers and people who work in the area of food to produce all the food, all kinds of food that people would ever need anywhere. This is their job. They were created to produce food for not just themselves, but for everybody. As times changed and as productivity increased, there was needed farmers and people who take care of food. This is their responsibility. Nobody else. Feed the world. And then the other things that we need shelter. Okay, the materials need bricks, mortar, wood, grass, whatever is needed to build shelters, to make shelters, buildings, highways, infrastructure, whatever is needed. The provider of earth made it possible that those materials would be available in the earth, and that a certain group, a certain kind of people will come on the earth with an idea, with knowledge and a hunger to be able to use and bring that stuff outside of themselves and extract from the environment whatever is necessary to do the things that needs to be done to create shelter for everybody else on the face of the earth. And this is their job. This is their responsibility. Nothing else. Just that. And no one else would love more doing it than they. No one else would love taking care of food than those who were endowed with that love from the beginning. And then, what else is there? There's education. Education. Education for those who have learned and left the information, produced the information, made it available for those who coming forth who needs additional information rather than just experience, but can benefit from the experience of others. Want to be educated, want to be given that information, to not to tie them in a knot, but to aid them in expanding their own ideas about the profession in which they have been given. Education, guaranteed to every human. Why? Because it makes them better at whatever it is that they want to do. Education guaranteed to everybody, even the farmers, even the builders, by teachers. Teachers who know what they're talking about. Teachers who love the subject. Teachers who can do, have learned from experience and from education. And they have only one desire in life, and that is to educate. And that's all they do. Educate. That's all they do. Educate. And then there's health care. Potentially everybody can get down, break some, get sick, have some kind of disease. Any human being can experience that. Or perhaps any living thing, but right now I'm speaking about the individual can experience that. And so the materials have been made available in the earth, on the earth, or above the earth, like everything else, whether seen or unseen. It's right there. For those who've been given that desire, that lust to help someone, to be there, to aid people, to give them health, to bring back life when it seems to be dissipating. These are your medical professions. Those who treat hands-on, those who do research, those who counsel, all of it. The materials are there, and the gifts, the hunger is there in the individuals that do it. And it's there for every last one of them that want to do it for the benefit of everybody that ever needs it. And so that desire is met by calling everybody who have that desire to come forth and be educated to the profession that they love doing, because they themselves get the greatest reward in producing what is so needed. Can't do without you. You're special like everybody else. And that's all you do. Health care. That's all you do. Provide health care for everyone on the face of the earth. And then there are those of you who got given types of lusts beyond that which are essential for survival. But to make dreams come true, to deal with the elements, to be dealing with technology to the highest degree. To want to branch beyond the simple things that we have been able to ascertain from the computer that we have, our senses. But to take us far beyond that. Why? Because it is life, growth, development, creation, and it should be experienced by everyone who plays a part for the benefit of all. Now, what I've shared with you, ladies and gentlemen, is basically what basic human rights are. And they are guaranteed to every human being on the face of the earth. They seem to have forgotten that. So my job is to remind you that it is just like that. And though you don't see these things happening in your midst, you don't know the reason. You should know the reason, and I will tell you. The reason is because you have allowed this straying away. You didn't just do it. You did it because you were deceived. And when I say you, I'm not talking about you as an individual. These things we do every day, all of us, because the principle, the roadmap has already been set, and we are all stepping in those same tracks. Keeping this way of life, a way that I've just explained, for a counterfeit, this that we are living every day. You see, you need to know what's going on. I have taken some notes that I want to say a word or two on. The other day I was watching television and they were talking about some cop that had gotten off for killing another black brother. And they were having a listening section throughout the community, let people speak up, talk, share with one another what they are feeling, what they're thinking, what they're doing, what they're contemplating. And I watched this brother, he was crying. I mean, this is a man, a black man crying. A black man crying. Because he's so frustrated, he's so fed up with the way evil perpetrates itself. Not just on the earth, but specifically on black people. And he was crying. What is he crying about? He has a problem, he sees a problem, and he does not know what to do. If he knew what to do, he'd do it. But he don't. He does not know what to do. And his tears are crying for somebody. It's a call. It's a call for the answer. The other day, when they exonerated the police murderer of a young man in Minnesota, Mr. Castile, and then they, after clearing him, released the tape. Part of it had been already released, live streamed, but this part wasn't. This was the dash cam video or some other source. And what it showed, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have not seen it, and for those of you who have, having been shot down by this murderer, his girlfriend sitting right there going through all kinds of changes. You can imagine what you would have been going through if your significant other was being gunned down right there in the midst, and your child is right there with you, and you're hysterical because you're an adult, you understand what's going on, but you can't believe that it's happening, and you're losing it. And your baby, your 4-year-old baby, sitting there, standing there before you crying, telling you, Mama, don't worry, Mama, be cool, because Mama, I don't want you to get shooted. Can you imagine a little 4-year-old girl don't even know the word get shot or when to use it, but say get shooted? That was the lovingest thing. And what was more loving than all of that is she said, don't worry, Mama, I will take care of you. Don't worry, Mama, I can take care of you. A little 4-year-old girl got in her heart, in her soul, in her spirit, that if there's anything that she can do, anything that a child, that this young baby could do, she'll do it. But there was no doubt in her mind. She didn't say, Mama, I tried. She said, Mama, I can keep you safe. I can keep you safe. That should be a slap in the face for every grown person on the face of the earth. Every grown person in America. A little child saying, I can keep you safe. Safe from what? From what we have created. Even what her mother has participated in creating by going along with it. Even what the young man was killed had participated in by going along with it. All the time, you and I. That cop didn't just kill that boy. We can blame it on the cops if we want. But that cop killed that boy because of us. Because of our hatred and mentality. And why do we have that? The other day, President Trump held a rally. And it was with folk that agreed with all that he is. This was on Wednesday, I believe, June the 21st. And he stated at this rally, bragging about how, in spite of all the things that's been said about him and his campaign, the Republican Party was still winning. They weren't losing as anticipated by Democrats and those Republicans who weren't sure. They don't realize what Donald Trump is. And he was bragging about how he got all billionaires in his cabinet. He was saying, we don't need it. Well, I love rich and I love poor. That's the lie he told. I love rich, I love poor. He really doesn't love either. He loves Donald. But he said, I love him. And then he said, but if I got to have one, I'd rather go with rich. I don't want poor. And what was that saying to you poor people who were hoping that he would do what you thought Barack Obama would do? You thought because he was a businessman, because he had his money and he didn't have to go the system way, that he'd look out for you. But what did he say about you? He said, I'd rather have rich, not the poor. That's you. And you put him in office. You put him in office. And how is you going to be rewarded? Well, and you don't have to look any further than his health care proposal that he is generating between those guys who've been lying to you like they care about you, doing planning, constructing in secret, stating that the Democrats would not support it. Even Trump said that if they gave it to you free, all the health care, the Democrats still would vote against it. Then I say to you, all you who are listening, whether you're Democrat and Republicans alike, God has offered it to the whole world free. Now, Trump said the Democrats wouldn't vote for it. What about you Republicans? Would you vote for it? Or would you vote in line with what you're already standing to put 23 million more out of health care and then causing pain and suffering for so many more others, while the money that was used to try to protect them in the old evil way, now it's being done in a worse way by giving it to those who already are billionaires. You see how you got tricked? That's the way the devil works. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You have been told that America is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. They tell you that all the time. They say they want to honor the guys who put their lives on the line to protect this lie. And it is just that, a lie. Every nation on the face of the earth, even the poorest nation on the face of the earth, tells its people that it is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Cuba tells its nation it's the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Haiti tells its people that they're the greatest people on the face of the earth. Everybody says that. But let me tell you something. Not everybody's a bully. Bullies go around taking advantage of whatever weakness you have, taking your land, making you a slave, dropping bombs on you. Yes, they do that. But they're not seen just as bullies on the outside. On the outside world, they are seeing you, the whole nation. When America does something, they don't just see the president. They see America. They see the Christian church. They see black folks, poor, rich. They see white, poor, poor, rich. They see black and white. That doesn't matter. It is America that's dropping bombs in Syria. It is America that's dropping bombs in wherever in the world that bombs are being dropped. Yes, other people are doing it too, and we say all kinds of evil things about those other people that's doing it. But those same things that we say about those other people are being said more about us, because they say we, what, are the superpower. Then we claim to be the best people on the face of the earth, but we're doing the same things that we say the most evil people on the face of the earth, which makes us one and the same. He talks about, the president does, about some high wall that he wants to build. He said it's his idea, bragging on himself about some wall. Somebody needs to remind him about the Tower of Babel. He went up into heaven, but it still failed. Somebody needs to tell a man something, but don't tell a man something that you don't know. I'm talking to you, ladies and gentlemen, because what I'm trying to do is to share something with you, because God loves you, but God does not love you any more than he loves the poor. And his message to the poor today is this: these people above you who got anything a little bit more than you got on the way up to the filthy rich. Now, when you get above a certain point in wealth, they don't give a damn about you. But up to a certain level, they still have a compassion for you. That's why they have shelters, and that's why they have food shelves, and that's how they have Salvation Armies, and etc., DAVs. They do that because the government, the system, allows them to do that for you, to keep them in check, make them think that they are doing you a service. You know, they had the expression, if I can just help one somebody, you can help everybody on the earth, because the same level and attention and involvement it takes to help one, that's all it takes to help the earth. That's all it takes to help the earth. It ain't complicated. It just seemed that way because nobody ever showed you what was going on, told you the truth. And so I'm saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, today, that if you're poor, God is calling on you to take the lead. These people who head organizations designed supposedly to help you, receiving 501(c)(3)s, those are jobs. They are not trying to liberate your problem, you from your problem. Those are jobs. They are satisfied with a food shelf. They are satisfied with a shelter. They are satisfied with a place you can go get some free clothes or discounted clothes. They're satisfied with that. They getting a check. They don't have to be in that line. You got to be in that line. And they will keep you in that line. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, what I know. I've gone to all of them, maybe different people during different periods of time, talked about God's plan. And they look at me like I'm a fool. What they're doing is what they want. And they don't want anybody challenging that, because it seems like money coming out of their pocket. They don't believe in God. And I've talked to preachers, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, I've talked to preachers all over this country. I've done it personally. I've traveled. I've done emails. I've written books trying to see if I can get a preacher who wanted to stand up for God's way of doing things. And up until this date, I have not won. They will say they'll go up to a point, but they will not go beyond the point of choosing God over the devil, choosing God over Satan, choosing God over state. They will not do it. They'll go up to a point, and up to that point, everything's going to stay as it is. I don't care what game you're playing. If you don't get out of that box, your butt will always be in that box, because freedom is outside of that box, and they are not going outside of that box. So I'm not calling you to go to church. I'm telling you to open up your heart based upon what you feel. All you poor people, you know what's going on. Every last one of you poor people know you're being robbed. Every last one of you poor people know that you're being stepped on. And you hate it. You know you don't trust politicians because they've never done anything for you. But you would rather stand on the street corner with a sign, because at least you can get $1 sometime. Otherwise, you don't get nothing. and people talk about you and get you to feel bad about yourselves. But I want you to know this, ladies and gentlemen. You are no better than they are, but you darn sure are no worse. So what I would say to you today, if you're poor, get off those street signs. Get out of there. Go down to your representatives, whether it's the mayor, alderman. You take your problem to them and tell them to fix it. Tell them to fix it. And if they can't fix it, get their asses out of office. Fix it. See, if they were working for God, they could fix it. They get on the right path, but they're working for the opposite. And they are on the wrong path. You feel the pain, and they are not going to fix it. Let me see if there's anything else I got down here. Yeah, I was noticing how people brag on the military about how they put their lives on the line every day. Now, if I wanted to give any credit to the way the world operates, I would still have to make a correction. If the world, the way it operates, is going to be acceptable, the number one people on this world that should have the most blessed life are those that put their lives on the line every day to protect the creators of this junk from what they are due, from their justice. And they are the ones, they're the ones that die. They're the ones that kill to protect this junk. And they come out of the military or whatever, and they are there, the same group, unless they were high up. They are there in the same group with everybody else, suffering for the same things. So, that's the way it is. But I ask you, how many Christians are in the army of the Lord? How many Christians are putting their lives on the line to show the way of God in the midst of all this darkness and refusing to sell for anything other than God's way? How many? How many? Not a single one. Not a single. Oh, I'm trying to. I've been talking it, but talk won't kill you, won't get you killed. Action is what gets you killed. Now I've decided to act. I have decided that every human being, man, woman, child, American, and anybody else, are me. That we are made of the same stuff. And that it is my consistency with the stuff that I'm made of that I see them as important as myself. And that I stand up and tell the truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm not persuaded by my nationality or my race. I'm not persuaded by any of that. I am persuaded by the fact that I exist. And I want everybody to know that this whole doggone earth is satanic. This whole darn earth is satanic. And that includes all his people, all his institutions, including his religious and high order institutions and all his secret societies. They are satanic. Every last one of them are satanic. And we all in this hell, and in different parts of the world, there's more hell, worse hell than others. But it's going around. And the leader of the hell are those richest nations on the face of the earth. Those richest people on the face of the earth. Those people who want to marry one another to keep that DNA in the family. Believing that when they pass on out of this body, that they will reincarnate in another body with the same DNA, making them the same people who were benefiting their life before in the high up, and they're coming right back to benefit again in the high up. And you don't matter. So I'm telling you, who will listen, the poor people, you have to take the lead. I know it's frightening. That's why I want you to put God in your life. Believe in God. And don't look outside for God. No, don't you look outside for God. You find God inside of yourself. Find God inside of yourself. And when you find God inside of yourself, then you bring God into your physical structure and allow God to live. This is how you can overcome this. This is how, once you achieve that level, here's the secret. Once you achieve that level, there's nothing they can do that can hurt you. Everything they throw at you, while the world might see it as something that they don't want to go through, and ooh, I don't believe that, it is nothing but glory for you. And I'm not talking about some glory that's to come. You feel something so fantastic that the world didn't give it to you, and the world can't take it away. This is how you start knowing that God is with you. Because when they put you on a cross, nails in your hands and feet, you feel like you're the greatest on the face of the earth. Never felt such glory. Sometimes you wish they put another nail in you, blowing your brains out too quick. You don't get a chance to enjoy. And I'm telling you this because it is absolute truth. Now that doesn't mean, what this does mean, let me tell you what it does mean. It means that you treat people like you want to be treated. That's the God that I'm telling you about. That's the God of love. There is another God, and he runs the world. All the stuff that goes on in the world, every God that you've ever heard of allows that. Every God you ever heard of allows that, unless they have switched their mind and started talking about the same kinds of things in a different language that I'm talking to you about today. This is the path to freedom. You, as an individual, having a relationship with God and doing the right thing. This way, this hell can't bother you. You'll stand up for God in it. But I guarantee you won't become a part of it, talking about taking the lesser of the two evils. Now, I'm telling this to you, everybody, so you can get something out of it. But you poor people, you're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to shame those people who think they're better than you. See, when you start standing up, God is going to bless you. And when I mean by blessing you, the things that you do are going to start having an impact. It's going to have an effect in your life and impact about those that are around you. And though part of those around you are those who think they're better than you, those who say they've been doing something for you, but are going to see when you stand up for yourself that they haven't been doing a thing for you. And they will be made embarrassed. They will start seeing themselves as fake as they are. And they all get in line just like all those people who've been trying to, in Washington, that swamp that Donald Trump talk about, all those people who've been trying to act like they care about you. Now Donald Trump, the one, probably representation of the most evil man on the face of the earth, even possibly more evil than Hitler. You find that all those Republicans and people who try to, like they care, are falling in line with Donald Trump, saying it's okay for the poor to suffer, and even many more. Oh, and I got to get out of here, but one last little thing I want to say, and I want to say this about the 99%. 99% represent those people supposedly that are not billionaires and trillionaires and stuff. But they hit the street. 99%. Why aren't they being successful in anything? Why aren't they taking any direction? What does 99% represent other than just people who are not rich? They represent noise. Noise. Because everybody got a voice. And everybody talking. And ain't nobody doing nothing. So 99% represent nothing but noise and failure. But 99%, if they had any smarts, had any wisdom, they would become one. Speak with one voice. Knowing and recognizing that their concern, that their individual particular interest is as important as it can possibly be. But it's no more important than the one down there that they think the least of. Because to that one, it means the greatest thing to them. And when you can accept that, and you recognize that the same creator of your problem is the same creator of their problem, and that you both should have solutions, that you work together, you're powerful. So if the 99% become one voice, say we're not going to take it anymore, all of our problems must be resolved. And mean it. Then the representatives will do it, or you get them out. And any representative that goes in already know what they're going in to do. They're going in to take care of your business, not their own, or those that others that they're working for. So that's the difference between the 99% voices of noise and 99% with one voice. Well, I just want to leave that with you. Thank everybody for giving this as much time as you've given it. I didn't know I was going to talk so long, and I believe that everything I said is something that could help somebody. And so I feel good about it. I want to give God the glory and ask you to believe in God, not the Republican Party, not the Democratic Party, not America, not the West, not in wealth, but believe in you. And that you do that because God is in you and you know you are good. And when you're good and do the right things and you're killed for it, that means you go into the army of the Lord where you deserve to be. Where you deserve to be. There's no greater love than a man would give his life for humankind. Not America, not blacks, not men, but for humankind. Whew. Feel good already. Bye-bye.